Hi guys, welcome back to Dibs on Half with me, Gabby. And today we're making something super quick, super easy. It's also vegan. I know I've been making a lot of vegan stuff lately, but it just so happens that the country I chose was Costa Rica, and one of their most popular dishes is called Gallo Pinto, which is basically like rice and beans, Costa Rican style. So if you want to see how I make it, just keep watching. Also, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's my birthday, October 20th, and I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by then. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Like this video, comment, tell me what you think. But anyways, let's get into this rice and beans. So I have 1.5 cups of white rice. I'm using basmati today, and you already know how I like to do it. Rinse it with cold water and just swoosh it around, and we're gonna get that starch off the rice here. So we're just gonna pour the water out until the water starts running more clear. And then I'm just gonna fill up the rice. So it's just soaking in water, and set that aside for like 10 minutes just to get the rest of this starch off of it. Because it makes the rice a little bit more fluffy, and fluffy rice is the best rice. It's been 10 minutes, and then I'm just gonna pour all this water out of here as much as I can without losing any rice. I have my rice cooker pan, and I'm just gonna drizzle about a teaspoon of olive oil at the bottom of the pan so the rice doesn't stick to it. And I'm gonna pour all the rice in here. Just make sure you get it all. Now, I like my rice to have a little bit of flavor, so I got vegetable powder here. You can find it at your local grocery store. And I'm gonna put 1/2 teaspoon of this vegetable powder in here. And then I'm also gonna add salt, because who doesn't like everything needs salt. I see all these recipes for stuff like how to make basmati rice and like plain rice. Who likes plain rice? Like, it doesn't taste like anything. Add the salt, add some vegetable stock, add some chicken stock. Do it up, man. You wanna season every ingredient all the time. So that's what I'm gonna do. One little more pinch for the road. And now this is 1.5 cups of rice. So I'm gonna add 2 cups of water. Now I'm just gonna take this and throw it in the rice cooker, throw that lid on, and let it do its job. If you don't have a rice cooker, don't even ask me how to cook rice properly in like a saucepan on the stove. I have no idea. I bought a rice cooker a long time ago because I tried and tried and tried and failed and failed and failed. If that makes me a bad cook, so be it. Rice is hard, so I'd rather just make it in a rice cooker. Now that the rice is cooking, I'm gonna start with the beans portion. So I'm gonna take my olive oil and do about a tablespoon in a non-stick pan. I like to use a non-stick pan for this. And then I'm gonna do 1 small yellow onion in here. And we're also going to add 1 red pepper. And we're just gonna swirl this around in the oil until it's all coated. And then we're just gonna cook it until these vegetables are soft. Now that these vegetables are all nice and soft, we're gonna add 3 cloves of minced garlic. You're gonna wanna mince these babies up as fine as you can. Give this a little stir around and cook this for about another minute or 2, just to soften the garlic up as well. At this point, I'm gonna add some things. So I'm gonna add a few pinches of salt and a couple grinds of pepper. And then I'm also going to add 1/2 teaspoon of cumin here, half a teaspoon. 1/8 teaspoon of turmeric powder. And I know this sounds really freaking weird, but we're gonna add a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And the reason we're doing this is because in Costa Rica, they have this like sauce in a bottle that's called salsa Lozano, and it's from Costa Rica. I couldn't find it here and I didn't have time to order it on Amazon, but it's a very unique flavored salsa, and apparently the recipe is like a big old secret. It's like Coca-Cola recipe, like nobody knows the recipes to this. So I guess Worcestershire is like the closest tasting thing to this, so that's why we added the Worcestershire. I'm just going with it, you know? Now that this is all nice and cooked, I'm gonna take it off the heat and I'm actually gonna cook up 1 can of black beans real quick. So I have a can of drained and rinsed black beans. I'm gonna throw it into a little sauce pot here, and I'm gonna add a whole can of water to it. And then I do wanna season up my beans. So I'm gonna use one of these sazon packets from Goya. And this one is cilantro y achiote. I'm gonna pour that in there because like I said, you're gonna wanna flavor every component of this dish. And apparently this dish is made, the rice and beans part is made with leftover rice and leftover beans. So obviously if they're leftover rice and leftover beans, they were seasoned with something. So I'm gonna season up these beans real good. So I'm gonna add that sazon packet, and then I'm gonna add a pinch of salt and a few grinds of pepper, and I'm gonna let these beans cook for about 10 minutes here. My beans are boiling. It's been about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna lower the heat and I'm going to drain these beans. Just gonna drain them out. And then I'm just gonna add them to my pan of peppers and onions and throw this back on the flame. This isn't even a flame, it's a metal coil that heats up, but I'm gonna throw it back on there. Now that it's back on here, I'm just gonna stir everything and mix everything up real good. And my rice is actually done. I just heard the rice cooker do the little pop when it goes to the warming setting instead of the cooking setting. So that's that so far. So now I'm gonna get my rice. So my rice I put onto a plate, and then I'm just going to get a fork and just kind of fluff it up a bit, because you don't want it to be all sticking together when you pour it in here. I got my fluffed rice, and I'm just gonna pour it right into the pan with all the beans and everything, and the onions and the peppers. And now we're gonna gently fold this together. Okay, now I'm just gonna give it, ooh, I forgot the cilantro. Let me see if it needs salt though. This is really good. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. So just like a couple little pinches of salt I needed. And that's why you always wanna taste your food before you give it to people, because salt's really important. And then I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of chopped up cilantro. And I know a lot of people don't like cilantro, but I'm not one of those people. I don't think it tastes like soap. I think it tastes amazing. And it's always nice to put a fresh herb in something, give it a little finishing touch. Now with this dish, it is usually made for breakfast apparently. And you could use fried plantains as like a side with it, or eggs, or you could even do like sliced avocado. And that's how I'm gonna enjoy my Gallo Pinto today. And apparently Gallo Pinto means like speckled rooster or something. And it's supposed to look like one of those like black and white roosters with like the red little thing on them. And it kind of does. I mean, it's black, white, and red. So let me taste it once I added all that stuff. Mmm. This is so good. I love a good rice and beans dish because it's so filling. And rice and beans are like some of the cheapest stuff around. So good. So I just added a little bit of avocado slices, and I'm actually gonna squeeze some lime juice over that because I just threw that all over my counter. I just love adding a little acid at the end of a meal because I didn't really add any to the dish. And I feel like acid is important. So that's why I did that. And who doesn't like lime juice? Mmm. If you make this recipe, tell me about it in the description below. Thank you to all the people who watched till the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.